Hello, my name is Aaron Bernabo. I am your honors topics and physics teacher, so welcome. Again, my name is Mr. Bernabo, or Mr. B is perfectly fine. I've been teaching at Afton High School for about 16 years now. I currently teach honors topics in physics, regular topics in physics, principles of engineering, which is a Project Lead the Way class, and AP physics. Maybe I'll be seeing some of you your senior year in AP physics, hopefully. The family, this is a little bit of an older picture, but my wife Jill, she teaches third grade in the Fox School District. My son Adrian, who is a sophomore this year at Oakville High School, and Jordan, who is a eighth grader this year at Oakville Middle School. They're gearing up for the school year too. This summer we went to Lake Table Rock with my family. My parents took us. We went, tubing behind the boat. That was fun, and got to hang out with the family a lot. It was nice. We went fishing on Lake Taneycomo. These are some trout that we caught. Caught some pretty good sized fish. That was it was a good trip. It's my dad back there. Grandpa to these guys. We also took a trip to Starved Rock State Park. Did a little tent camping. Hadn't gone tent camping in a while. Again, my wife Jill, Jordan, and Adrian. Here we are traipsing around through some wet parts of the park. There were a bunch of canyons there, and that was kind of the niche of the park, was all these canyons that were there. We went to Door County, Wisconsin, which is this peninsula that kind of sticks off into Lake Michigan. We were just stopping off for a snack. And also a little Pokemon Go. We play Pokemon Go. I've switched. This is an old slide. I'm now Team Instinct to match my younger boy Jordan, who's hiding behind his screen here. And so now we're all Team Instinct. A little bit about the class. We're going to start out with kind of some science related basics. How to measure properly, the units of measurement, how to deal with them, things like sig figs, which is significant figures. Some terms that probably should seem familiar to you would be the control in an experiment. A km, I hope you know what that is. That is a kilometer. What the independent dependent variable is, and how to calculate the slope of a line. So some basics there. Then we'll get into motion. One thing I want to point out very clearly is that this class is a very math-based class. So you should have taken eighth grade or algebra last year, the high school algebra class, not pre-algebra, but algebra. If you did not, you are in the wrong class. You need to have taken algebra last year. And hopefully you feel pretty strong about algebra, because we will be using it quite a bit. So I try to put an equation that we're going to be using on each one of these slides. So this is the equation for acceleration. So then we'll look at vectors and projectiles. So projectiles are something that's falling under the influence of gravity. Again, I put another equation down here. Just want to make sure you realize that what you're getting yourselves into is a math-based science class. So then we'll look at Newton's three laws and forces. Then we'll look at momentum, how it's conserved in collisions. You probably heard of the term momentum before, but not in terms of physics terminology. Energy, which obviously you've all heard before, conservation of energy, some equations that we'll be using later on in the year. Simple machines, which I'm sure you've seen, levers and different types of simple machines, but again, we'll be approaching it a little more in depth than what you've done before. And then we'll look at rotation, look at that animation. It even rotates. It's crazy. Center of mass, which you probably have heard something along those lines, and torque, you may have heard. Torque causes something to start rotating. So a wrench, you cause it to turn around the bolt as you're exerting torque. Atoms, density, and buoyancy, so a little bit of states of matter. density, which I'm sure you've seen before. We'll look at pressure, and what actually causes an object to float. Um, so universal gravitation, the fact that any two objects that have mass attract each other in the universe. So you have mass, which means you attract every other object in the universe that has mass. And that's Newton's equation for this. Then towards the end, we'll be looking at vibrations and waves, oscillations, things that go back and forth. This is the equation for the period of a pendulum, such as this clock has a pendulum. So this equation would describe the time it takes for that pendulum to go back and forth. A little bit about the syllabus. Um, so the things that you want to keep track of, again, what I mentioned here is, first off, if you've not had 8th grade algebra last year, you should take regular topics in physics. Otherwise, this will be a very not a very pleasant year for you. Even if you did take algebra last year, and if you've gotten A's that were all your classes were pretty easy before, you expect that to change a little bit in this class. You probably will have to work to get an A, and some of you will probably wind up with, well, some of you will wind up with C's and maybe even less than that. Let's hope not, but that's this is going to be a challenging class. Things you want to do when we're going through the PowerPoints online, kind of like we're doing now. I would take notes. The nice thing is you can pause it and take notes in a physics folder, just so you've got them got access to them in a little bit of an easier format. Read the book. I don't check books out to you just for everyone. If you do want to check a book out, I can try to get one to you. I'll try to post the scan of the book on Canvas. So that'll probably be the easiest way to do it. What you want to have with you as we're going through stuff. Your Chromebook, obviously. You don't have to worry about your book. You're going to want a calculator. And later on you'll want a ruler and a protractor. So what I recommend is pretty much every day you're going to have an assignment. Do the assignment, and we'll talk about how those are graded a little bit later. But do the homework. Do your best on it, and that way, if you make a mistake, we can try to get you sorted out before we move on. And ask questions. How are you going to ask questions? That's going to be a little trickier this year. I suppose there's always email. I'll probably try to set up a Google Meet or something along those lines, and maybe we'll approach it that way. Things that you need to have for this class. Again, I would recommend that you have a notebook for this class. You'll need a 12-inch ruler later on. You'll need a protractor later on. Mechanical pencils are my preferred method of writing implements. And what you will need for sure is a calculator. You don't need a graphing calculator, one of those, you know what a graphing calculator is, but you don't just get a dollar store calculator. You need one that's a scientific calculator. I recommend one that has 2 lines of display. This is a pretty popular model, the TI-30X IIS. And as the last time I checked, it was under $20. So that's a good model. So you'll want something that can do exponents and preferably have parentheses and again 2 lines of display. How things will be graded. 70% of your grades will be tests. Okay, so that's when I get to see what you can do. 20% of your grade will be labs, and it'll be interesting to see what labs look like this year. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to look like, but we'll have some labs. And then 10% of your grade is homework, and the homework is what you're going to get pretty much every day, just a daily homework assignment. It's only worth 10% of your grade. This 10% section right here is I only grade for completion. I don't grade it for being correct, which is why it's worth the least amount. It's probably what you're going to spend the most time doing, but what you need to realize is that you do homework so that you can perform on later things such as tests and quizzes. So you should have a lot of hundreds in your grades for this, but again, this only counts for 10%. Um, all right, so when you're probably going to be taking pictures of your work and then posting it on Canvas, that's probably what this is going to look like. So what I want you to do is put the name of the assignment and your name clearly at the top of the page that you're going to take a picture of and send to me. And then as you're doing it, the paper that you're going to be working from, the screen, is going to be numbered. I want you to number your paper also and put answers next to the numbers just like you would as if you were working the assignment. They are going to be due 9 a.m. the next morning. So what is a daily homework assignment is going to be due the next day at 9 a.m. Unless stated otherwise, and it cannot be turned in late. These are what is worth 10% of your grade. They're not graded. They're not graded for accuracy. They're just graded for completion. Labs, on the other hand, and it should be clear when we do a lab, I'll make sure I'll tell you this is where we're doing a lab. That's worth more. That's worth 20% of your grade. That's also going to be due the next day at the start of school. I will take those late, but they will lose 25% per day. Okay, and those I actually grade to see that that you answered the questions correctly. I want you to do your assignments in blue or black ink or pencil. I'm not going to grade work that's written in pink highlighter, that sort of thing. I recommend that you keep all your papers for the semester together. You probably want them to review for the final. Um, if you're absent, well, and I guess some of this stuff doesn't really apply. Um, yeah, just make sure you get the work. You keep up with the work. Miss labs. That makes sense. So don't cheat on the well, don't cheat, period. But if you are caught cheating on the assessment somehow, then you'll get a 0 on that. And that's it. Sorry to kind of drone onto for you like that, but just wanted to get that done. So hopefully the rest of your day goes well, and it'll work out. We'll figure things out this school year, and it'll be fine. Okay. Thanks. Have a good day.